على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. سبحانك لا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. فإذا قضيتم مناسككم فاذكروا الله كذكركم آباءكم أو أشد ذكرا. صدق الله مولانا العظيم. So continuing with the Ahmad of Hajj, the verses that describe the main actions and the main Ahmad of Hajj. So now, once the Wukuf in Arafat is completed, and then on to Muzdalifah, and after the Wukuf of Muzdalifah, then the Hujjaj will move to Mina, where they will spend the next 2 or 3 days in the staying there at Mina, in which this ayat is explaining what is to be done and what is not to be done. And even though this is the context of the revelation of this ayat has to do with the custom of the Jahiliyyah. Those who were with me yesterday, I mentioned the mention of Jahiliyyat al-Ula. So in Surah Al-Ahzab, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that they're the first Jahiliyyah, but it doesn't mean that it's the last Jahiliyyah. There's Jahiliyyah one after the other. So what used to happen is that the Arabs, their custom was that after the Hajj, which as I mentioned on many occasions, that this was established by Ibrahim alayhi salam, and it was revived and revitalized and purified in its final form by Rasulullah alayhi salatu wassalam. However, the Arabs had, and we mentioned other practices that they had in disrupting and corrupting the pure practices of the rites which Ibrahim alayhi salam had established. So one of the things that they used to do was that in Mina, rather than spending this time in dhikrullah and ibadat, they used to spend their time in dhikr abaihim. Rather than dhikrullah, dhikr abaihim. They remember their fathers and their grandfathers and their great-grandfathers. Like one of them would say, Inna abaha wa abaha kad balagha al-majdi ghayataha. Their father, her father, and her father's father, they reached the heights of glory. What heights of glory? They were mushriks. They didn't believe in Allah. And the glory was that they were fighting and killing one another for nothing, for simply, the goods of this world. And so, obviously, this is not, what Mina is about. Mina is about dhikrullah. Okay? So rather than remembering your fathers and your forefathers and, all of this, what we call mafakhir, all this showing of pride, which is itself, a huge sin. And, the very basis of deception and diversion from the path of Allah, and that was the cardinal sin of Satan, for which he was cursed. So obviously, not only it's not the time to remember your father, it's not the time to be boasting, it's not the time to be arrogant, it's the time for humility and gratitude. Whereas Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the tawfiq to reach that place, and not only reach that place after a huge expenditure of time and money and resources and special tawfiq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then the tawfiq of being able to actually complete the Hajj and complete all of those manasik, all of those stations and all of those rites. And now, having completed that, Mina is the time for remembrance of Allah and gratitude. So therefore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you should remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as fervently, even more fervently than you used to remember your forefathers and your ancestors, remembering them, in arrogance. Rather, remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more fervently in humiliation, in humility, and dignity. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all tawfiq. Again, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take us all to His house, give us tawfiq to, be there, labbaik, Allahumma labbaik, that we will be hadired in His khidmat. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me and all of us tawfiq wa akhir da'wana, and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen, wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.